George G. Money Willis as we talk about bridging the gap between our young people and am I us? Am I the other?
Yeah.
Bridging the gap suggests that they over here and I'm way over on the,
Only
on
if
the
you
old
put
end of
yourself there.
things. All right, yeah. Okay.
You're in the middle.
Yeah, I'm in the middle. I
Yeah.
like to think that 784-1102. Good morning and welcome back to Making Talks. I'm ANITA Ponder and I want to thank you for joining us again in the studio with Ron Jackson, sitting in for Todd, who will be back with us hopefully tomorrow. And we also have Zyril, who is back in his seat. And always on Tuesdays, we're joined by George G. Money Willis. And so thank you for joining us. You know, when George G. Money Willis comes in, he comes in with books. Well, what do we have there? Because I know we have some references to home.
Yes, definitely. There's a new book in Barnes & Noble. It's worldwide in all the Barnes & Noble.
Mm-hmm.
It's called BMF, The Rise and Fall of Big Meech, the Black Mafia Family.
Mm-hmm.
And I was out with Virgil Watkins, and we was headed over to YDC, and he had the book, and he said, do you know that you and Club Monies and Macon is in this book?
Right.
And I said, no, I didn't know. And it's on page 171. And they talk about Club Monies. They talk about young Jeezy, how he got started. It's a really good look for Macon.
Mm-hmm.
It was a really good article. The young lady that wrote the book used to write for the Macon Telegraph.
Oh yeah, okay. Who wrote this? Oh, okay. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Now, and the interesting thing just about this whole concept of how it came about, Zaria, is that, you know, a lot of times we talk about, or I think it was you and I, Ron, who was talking yesterday about getting young folk involved.
Right.
Okay, now the fact that you have a council member young enough to pick up, the rise and fall of Big Meech, you know what I mean? And a councilman young enough to pull that and make the connection between a G Money and this reading. This is a book.
Yes,
you know what I'm
yes,
talking about?
yes.
And to have a mention in a different demographics of a Macon. That's what we're talking about, pulling young people and young leadership and how they bring a whole different perspective, something that's not just consolidation. You know what I mean? And some of those issues, and I think that's an important piece. And I love the fact that y'all were headed over to the YDC meeting. Y'all were going to do something very meaningful.
Yes, we did.
You know, yeah,
We did.
you know, and helping folks. So I think that's great.
Yeah, we're both going to be on their community advisory board.
Mm-hmm.
They have a studio in YDC. Somebody donated all the equipment and all that, and it's not being used.
Oh, really?
So one of the things we're going to try to do is implement a program, after school program, where we could go there and teach them how to use the equipment.
Okay, I think that'd be absolutely wonderful. Now you didn't come in just with one book, but a second book as well.
No, this book is in New York.
Okay.
It's called The Lost City of Yonkers, The Lost City of Hip Hop. And the guy that wrote this book grew up with DMX.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm also in this book.
Okay, awesome.
And it's another reference about me and Jeezy. It's even got me and Jeezy's picture in it. And it talks about Macon and Southern hip hop. And both of these books have a lot of good references about Macon and music and hip hop. It has no negativity whatsoever. It's a really good look for Macon.
And talks about Booker T. Washington and the impact there and the whole host of things. And very, very interesting. It kind of ties into, it's quite obvious that since you have this kind of literature and these kinds of mentions all the way from New York, to our own Barnes and Noble, and you talk about hip hop and we talk about bridging the gap and that whole demographics. You know, I'm gonna rewind to a conversation Ron and I was having on yesterday, and we were talking about something as simple as the Cherry Blossom Festival. You know, we were talking about something as simple as the Cherry Blossom Festival,
right.
And how when you talk about an unrepresented group of people and 100,000 people, when you're talking about it's something as simple as the entertainment that you choose to bring to a festival, this money, and it's part of why we started doing this segment. You hear the term hip hop and you hear the term rap, which is oftentimes all I mean, they really two different things, but intertwined. You hear those terms, and in some folks' mind, it automatically it denotes something negative.
Right.
You know what I mean? There are some folk who automatically you have already judged that, okay, if it is a rapper, this is somebody who's doing, gun carrying, gangster like, or all this kind of stuff. If it's a hip hop person, yeah, and so as a result, those type of acts might not be booked because there's those folk who govern who see it as a negative and don't see it as an art form, so to speak, or a form of expression, and don't realize the huge following that these groups have.
Yeah, definitely. They attach the word thug to hip hop so much, and it has such a negative connotation to it, so they don't want to be involved in it. But there's a lot of young, sophisticated, yuppie type black kids that love hip hop music
and white kids.
Yes,
it's across all lines. In terms of who likes it,
definitely. And they buy music, so they support that. But the older generation just still, I don't know, they just stuck in their ways. This is the Bible Belt, and they live up to that. So they just don't even give it a chance a lot of times.